It happens all the time. You submit what you think is a perfect resume. You make it through the initial screening. The phone interview goes well. Then comes the big day, the in-person interview. You walk out feeling confident, maybe even excited, but days pass, then weeks. Eventually that dreaded email arrives. We've decided to move forward with other candidates. What went wrong? After surveying over 200 hiring managers and career coaches, one surprising mistake kept coming up. And it has nothing to do with your qualifications, your experience, or even your skills. The fatal error that's costing people jobs happens in how they answer questions. Specifically, it's failing to tell compelling stories about their work. Here's why this matters so much. When an interviewer asks, "Tell me about a time you faced a challenge at work," they're not just looking to hear that you can handle problems. They're looking for three key things: how you think, how you communicate, and how you create results. Most candidates focus only on the last part, the results, while completely missing the first two. Let me break down exactly where people go wrong. The average candidate will say something like, "At my last job, I managed a team of 5 people. We had some conflicts, but worked through them. In the end, we completed our projects successfully." Sounds okay, right? It's not. That answer is forgettable at best, and at worst, it makes the interviewer question whether you actually contributed anything meaningful.
Check one, check.
Now compare that to this version. When I took over as team lead, morale was at an all-time low after a failed product launch. I implemented weekly one-on-ones to understand each member's frustrations, then redesigned our workflow to play to individual strengths. Within 3 months, we'd not only rebuilt trust but delivered 2 major features ahead of schedule, which became key selling points that helped secure our Series B funding. Hear the difference? The second answer uses what career experts call the SARL method: situation, action, result, and learning. But most importantly, it tells a story with stakes, transformation, and measurable impact. So why do so many people struggle with this? There are 3 main reasons. First, nerves. Interview anxiety causes even the most qualified professionals to freeze up or oversimplify their answers. Second, people assume their experience speaks for itself. They think listing job responsibilities is enough, not realizing every other candidate is doing the same thing. And third, this is crucial, they fail to research what the company specifically needs so they can tailor their stories accordingly. Let's talk about how to fix this. The next time you prepare for an interview, don't just review your resume. Identify 4 to 5 key stories from your career that demonstrate how you solve problems, how you handle failure, how you collaborate, how you drive results, how you grow and adapt. For each story, structure it using SARL: situation, action, result, and learning. Situation. Set the scene in 1 to 2 sentences. When I joined the marketing team, our email open rates had declined for 6 straight months despite trying multiple strategies. Action. Focus on what you specifically did, not we, but I. I analyzed 3 years of campaign data and discovered our subject lines were too generic. I created a new framework testing emotional triggers versus practical benefits. Result? Quantify whenever possible. Open rates increased by 22% in the first quarter, generating an additional $350,000 in revenue from existing subscribers. Learning. This is where most people stop, but the magic happens here. I learned that in marketing, psychology often outperforms logic, a principle I've since applied to our social media strategy with similar success. This structure does 3 powerful things. It makes you memorable among dozens of candidates. It demonstrates emotional intelligence by showing self-awareness, and it gives the interviewer concrete evidence of how you'll perform in their specific role. Now let's talk about delivery. You could have the best stories in the world, but if your body language undermines you, it won't matter. Research shows interviewers form lasting impressions within the first 7 seconds. Some common mistakes: crossing your arms, which makes you appear defensive. fidgeting as it suggests nervousness or dishonesty, speaking too quickly which indicates anxiety, and poor eye contact which reduces perceived confidence. Instead, try these proven techniques. Mirror the interviewer's energy and posture to build subconscious rapport. Use power pauses, brief silences before answering important questions to appear thoughtful. Sit with both feet planted to project stability, and employ subtle hand gestures when explaining concepts to appear more engaging. Remember, interviews aren't just about proving you can do the job. They're about showing you're the best cultural fit and the safest bet. A candidate who tells vivid, results-oriented stories while projecting calm confidence will always outperform someone with better credentials but weaker communication. One final tip. Always prepare questions that demonstrate your understanding of their business challenges. Instead of generic, "What's the culture like?" Ask, "How does the team currently handle specific problem?" In my last role, we addressed this by your relevant experience. This approach transforms the dynamic from interrogation to conversation, and makes you stand out as someone who's already thinking like part of the team. The sad truth is most job seekers never realize they're making this storytelling mistake until it's too late. But now that you know, you have an immediate advantage. Your qualifications might get you in the door, but your stories will get you the offer. So before your next interview, ask yourself, what are the 3 to 5 career stories that best showcase how I solve problems, drive results, and adapt to challenges? Practice telling them using the SARL method. Record yourself to check your body language. Then walk in knowing you're prepared to be the most memorable candidate they'll see all week. Because at the end of the day, people don't hire resumes. They hire stories. Stories of problems solved, obstacles overcome, and value created. And now you know exactly how to tell yours.